Imagine you really love Babylon's Fall, and you're just enjoying and playing it, and you love the aspects that you love, and you want to defend those aspects that you love, and then all of a sudden, just someone just pops up and goes,
Babylon's Fall is bad. Okay, I get it.
Babylon's Fall is a game I've been really enjoying. I'm just under 50 hours. I'm probably about 40 or 45 hours in, and while I still enjoy the gameplay, mechanics, and atmosphere of the game, there are obvious things that are bugging me to the point where I'm actually watching to see what will happen in the next couple of updates. Basically, these coming updates will determine if I stick with this game or not, despite the fact I really do love it. So without further ado, let's walk through the things that I think about Babylon's Fall, what I think for its future, and where I lie in the spectrum of hate to love it. Basically, if you have a spectrum from hate to absolutely love, where on that spectrum do I fall?
Hopefully that's good.
Babylon's Fall is getting a lot of fire for being just not good, not having good graphics, the fact that it has a battle pass and microtransaction currency, despite the fact that it's a full $60 game. Um, I think some of these things, like the pricing issue, cosmetics are getting overpriced pretty much across the board, even since launch. And I think the pricing things are justified. Like, people are right to be mad about those, but things like the graphics are kind of like, it's an opinionated thing. Like, the graphics look fine. They look really good. I don't understand why people are trashing on that. In my opinion, it's other issues that this game falls short on. And while I have been pretty much just defending this game since day one, and I am still defending this game since day one, um, there are flaws. Many have done well to point out those flaws, like I said, with the pricing, while others that are reviewing it are either trashing it way too early into it. Basically, all they did was play demo content, or they only played a couple hours, which are arguably the worst hours of the game. Is like the first 4 or 5 hours that you play, or like the slowest. Um, but many are just trashing it way too early, or just making claims about it that are purely opinionated claims, like the art style, graphics being bad. On the surface level, the game just doesn't look good. In fact, it looks kind of horrible. Um, uh, it is a very overpriced $60 USD price tag, and in other currencies around the world, it's, more than that. Um, this price isn't even steep. Like I said, it's even steeper in other countries. Like, this game is a live service with a premium battle pass and microtransactions. Um, While nearly all the content in the battle pass and microtransaction is cosmetic items, the prices of the cosmetics have been increasing very slightly since launch, and is causing players like me to kind of be like, hey, whoa, why is this going up a little bit? Even if it's not much, it's still going up a little bit. Um, Hoping that that does not become a trend for the price, because even though, yeah, it's just cosmetics, people are still going to want to buy cosmetics for a game they enjoy. And if it's like too high of an asking price, then it's like, yo, what's up here? I think that there are some gameplay functions that I believe should go. Actually, certain quests have environmental hazards that don't add much more challenge and are more annoying than anything else. One of these is the what they call miasma, which you need an orb to take with you that has a bubble to protect you from it. And these are just more annoying to carry around the stage and get knocked out of by an enemy. And also be staggered, which by the way, another thing is staggers, which is like enemies just stagger you way too much. It's not necessarily a problem for there to be enemies staggering, but like they do it too much. You get knocked down and completely immobilized too much to the point where it's just annoying. Next, there's some community-based functions that need tweaked or added to. At least I think need tweaked or added to. Um, it's not obvious how to join your friends to play together. A good explanation of how to do that, I think, should be implemented. Um, there's no party system. You can't like jump into a party with your friends and then just keep playing quests. Um, you have to join them the same way every single time, and it can't just be like, oh, we're in a party. The person can pick a quest. We all just queue into the same queue. Go ahead. The game has no text or voice chat, just emotes, and the emotes are not like they're not substantial for actual communication between two players in game, which means that people have to communicate through Discord or like PlayStation voice chat or whatever. Another thing is small things that we changed and added to. These are not like huge game breaking things, but just it really impacted in-game engagement of players like by a whole lot.
Next, I'd like to mention the recent Nier Automata event. And, oh yeah, remember remember that enemy staggering I mentioned? Yep. Also, it's face cam time. Got a couple problems with this Nier Automata event. Nier Automata is my favorite game pretty much ever. And this event was not. It wasn't total garbage. Well, I mean, it kind of was total garbage. It was copy and pasted levels, basically just rehashing environments from the base game. They didn't create any special Nier environments to play the levels in. The staggering apparently is even worse. Just of that little bit of the event that I had recorded was abysmal. Enemy staggering. The special cosmetics are nice, but they are really steeply priced. So, like I said, the price is getting up there a little bit on cosmetics, even though I personally don't have a problem with cosmetics and being costed money, but these are ridiculously high. Um, just and those outfits, those special cosmetics can't be mixed with others, which is like a huge appeal of getting cosmetic armors. I just I don't feel like it did Automata justice. And like a lot of the enemy, they didn't use a lot of like the really unique enemies, like any of the really unique machine enemies from Automata. It just, I don't know, man. It just feels like it just doesn't have a lot of effort put into it, and this could spell danger for the future because if this is the effort that they put into an event for one of Platinum Games' like best games that they've made, not the best, well, I want to say it's the best, but I don't think it is the best that Platinum Games has made. But Nier Automata is one of their best games, and I think if this is the effort that went into it, wow, like I hope that they future events that they do. I hope they really beef it up. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. Like it could spell danger for future events. Like I think it would be really cool to have them do like a Bayonetta event or a Metal Gear, basically Rising. Just basically do other Platinum games as events. Dang, dude, like it's disappointing.
So now that I got those things out of the way, let's talk about what I actually love about Babylon's Fall. The positive part of this video, basically. So here's the deal. Combat does feel great. There's a lot of variety that you can toy around with and make the combat your own style, which is done by having your two regular weapons, having your two spectral weapons, having different weapons, doing different types of attacks, whether they're, you know, normal or a light attack, I guess, heavy or spectral. Um, As I said before, there are some things that are annoying, like the enemies staggering, but it doesn't make me dislike it. Art style is another thing I personally can get behind. This is an opinion thing, alright guys? Like, people trash the game for looking garbage because of the paint stroke like graphics and filter over everything. I personally like it, and it isn't all too often that a developer tries something different like that. And although I will say an option to toggle the filter off for people that are bothered by it should be implemented though, as not everyone can stand it, which is totally fine. So an option to have that off would be good to maybe get some more people on board with it. So here's the be all end all overall consensus for me personally. I love the game. I want to stick with it and defend the parts that I like, but I know not everyone will like those things. The price tag is way over the top for a game like this, however, and cosmetics seem to be getting overpriced, which is a warning sign to watch and see. Another warning sign is the current Automata event, with not a lot of effort put into it, at least I don't think, or less effort than what was actually hyped and expected from the community. In short, I still enjoy the aspects I fell in love with, but I am watching to see what they do for the next update and for what they do in Season 2. Hopefully improvements for community aspects are improved and we see more and more unique environments added in. Also, and this is actually due to other games and not Babylon's Fall, I've lost some motivation to play. Other games have pulled my attention away and it just seems like I want to turn to them more. This doesn't mean I'll stop playing Babylon's Fall though, just won't play as much. If not much changes for next season, I might be dropping Babylon's Fall entirely, actually. I don't want to, but if there isn't any showing of wanting to improve some of these aspects from the devs, I'm out.
So Babylon's Fall, worth your money? No. Worth your time? Maybe, depending on if you fit into the niche. And you're okay with dropping $60 on it if you feel like you have the money for that.
So you're probably wondering, Josh, about that spectrum you mentioned before, that spectrum from hate to absolutely love, where do I fall? I'd say if you gave it like a 1 through 10, like 1 was hate, 10 was absolutely love, I'd say I'm a 7. Reason for that being that I do love it, but I realize there are some flaws, some things that I personally think need fixed, and so that's why I'm just watching to see what happens. So all that emotion out of the way, I'd like to make a few things clear in case they weren't before. Game is not worth $60, but it is not a terrible game. Just needs improvements in certain areas. A $30 USD priced would suit it much better, and ideally I think this game should go free to play. Sadly, I have my doubts if Square and Platinum would do this though. Well, after all that, I'd only like to say if you watched all the way through and you listened, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to hear my thoughts on this. And that's really all I've got to say for this one. Hope everyone's having a great morning, day, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it be for you. Josh out.